Hey everyone, and welcome to Off the Top with Eric Paris and Red. I'm your host Eric, and joining me today are
Your boy P.
And it's your boy Red.
what's up, fellas? Episode 31, new year, new us, new pod.
31?
Yeah,
Dang.
yep,
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it.
yep. So, being that it's the new year, we're gonna. Everyone's talking about this. They've been talking it for the past couple of days now. But Katt Williams is blowing up the internet. Almost, it seems like every once in a while, like people aren't talking about him. He does something that gets people talking again. But this is one that has caused responses from everybody from Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, Rickey Smiley, and comedians that aren't even mentioned in the podcast, um, coming out and saying, giving their 2 cents. So for those that are unaware, Katt Williams went on Shannon Sharpe's podcast that he has, Club Shay Shay, and gave
That's still a crazy name.
an explosive 2 hour and 46-minute interview where he pretty much unleashes multiple clips and everybody's catching strays.
Man,
Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, I
I
watched the
saw
whole
like,
thing.
oh, you watched the whole thing. See, I was clip watching. I watched
Mm.
like 50 different clips of it. And that shit was, it's, what I want to say. When you hear shit like that, and then right after it, everybody start leaking little random information and
Mm.
start showing the original jokes and who did it right after. I'm like, damn, was every word true now? Because it's looking like it looked like a lot of it's true.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing that I was kind of, to me overall, the interview. I'm gonna say, like, from the beginning, I am a huge Katt Williams fan. I
Yeah,
loved him since the early 2000s. His stand-ups have always been great to me. I love his appearances he's done in films, even TV shows when he was on Atlanta as Alligator Man. So like
yeah.
I'm a Katt Williams fan. More so, like, I think a lot of people that are around our age that kind of grew up with Katt Williams, the big transition was after Katt Williams, you were a Kevin Hart fan. I was not a big Kevin Hart fan. I was a
Yeah,
big
me
Katt
neither.
Williams. I never really did that jump. Like, no, I'll watch the old 2 year old, stand-ups and I'll be fine,
Facts.
um, so with that being said, there is a bunch of stuff that Katt Williams kind of brought up that I was like, I believe him, and some of the stuff he brought up, I definitely was on his side about. Like, I can see this being something that's true. But once in a while, he sprinkled in some stuff in there that I was like, all right, hold on. like, like being a child prodigy, reading 3,000 books a year when he was a
Oh
kid,
yeah.
hitchhiking to Florida when he was 13. There was some stuff that I was like, I don't know about that.
All right, bro. You reaching right now.
Yeah. So yeah, like there definitely was stuff that he kind of sprinkled in there that made me a little skeptical. But I gotta say, overwhelmingly, the stuff that he mentioned, particularly about other comics, I definitely kind of believe him about. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, so yeah, let's kind of break down this again. It's a very long 2 hours and 46 minutes, and honestly, like I tried doing a reaction to it. I got home late at work and I put it on, and I was like, shit, like 10 minutes in, he called out four comics already. So like it's instant. Like he's already pissed when he walks in.
Yeah, I watched Club Shay Shay faithful. Well, I listened to it faithfully on Spotify, so I don't watch
Mm,
it on YouTube. So I never got the visuals until
right.
after it came out. So when it comes to that type of show, it's an easy listen. He's a good interviewer, but he's not a traditional interviewer. He basically give whoever's on his platform a safe space to talk,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and there's no judgment. He's neutral. How he
Yeah.
say he's Switzerland, so he don't have no type of bias whatsoever. So that's why Katt Williams chose his show in general, because he knew he could say what he had, over the years, say what he had off his chest, and wouldn't be. I mean, the internet will judge him, not
Yeah.
Right,
him
right.
personally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
out of, I mean, before we continue, out of the 3 hours that we basically watched or listened to, there's a lot of truth, and you could tell there's a lot of lies in this
Yeah. Yeah.
motherfucker. So it's not like, he's everything he said was Bible, but
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
when you comes to conspiracies, like how we had in our conspiracy episode, a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes is start to come to the light, and you got certain people, like how we was talking about Orlando Brown. back when
Yeah.
when the people that's behind the scenes start telling the truth, they try to make you out to look crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's what's coming back up now. Is it's like, oh, for the people that don't know Katt Williams, how we are in our 30s and 40s, ain't nobody 40 here, but in general, when you grew up watching Katt Williams before they ostracized him and shit like that, people listened to him, thought he was funny, but then Hollywood, with the little dress shit like that, they probably kicked him out and said, all right, well, now we about to make you be out here by yourself looking
Yep,
crazy.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say though that is something that, like, this isn't new for Katt. Katt's kind of always kind of been like this. Like, he doesn't really do interviews. He even said that in the podcast. He's like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
like, unless it's someone big like Larry King, I'm not gonna show up for anybody, and that's not like he's different now. No, Katt Williams has always been like this. He's
Mm-hmm.
always kind of said what, like, off the wall shit sometimes. And like you said, when the powers that be, or like, the big managers and whoever does, the casting for things, oh, let's not put Katt Williams in thing. Oh, okay. Katt Williams is still going to do a multi-city tour. It's not like he's going
Mm-hmm.
anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like, I actually want to go back to, we can actually start with Shannon Sharpe's interviewing, because that actually is something that has gotten a lot of flack since this came out. And I'm actually going to defend Shannon Sharpe a little bit here. There were a lot of people that were saying, like, oh, half the questions and things that he brought up during the interview, Katt Williams immediately said that's not true. You know, so it's like half the questions you brought in aren't true, but at the same time, how is Shannon Sharpe supposed to know some of these behind the scenes information that
Exactly.
was brought up? Like, and the
Yeah.
thing is, his background is not in journalism. His background is in sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, maybe, I mean, I think people are kind of expecting too much of a hardcore journalism, but I think that is, you brought it up again, P. I think that is one of the things that he is great at as a, I don't want to say interviewer, but like entertainer. These guys feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable enough to talk about this stuff, and that is a
Yeah.
skill in itself. You can't just have
Yeah.
people on there and expect people to spill their guts out, but like, you present a space that allows people comfortable to do it to you. That's a skill, that's not something
Facts,
that you just
facts.
have. You have to
You
learn
got
that.
Yeah, you got to realize Shannon Sharpe is 55.
Yeah.
So he grew up with all of these people that he was talking to or
Mm,
grew up around them. And he's
Mm-hmm.
basically been famous since he was in his 20s. So he's bound to know some information that us growing up wouldn't know, obviously.
right.
So when he comes to asking questions, he's asking the personal questions that he want to know as a person, and his team behind him is asking questions that the populace will want to know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not like he's getting hardcore, oh, what's your deepest, darkest secret? Because he don't give a damn about that. Unless they want to bring it up themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a conversation with somebody, just like, you shooting the shit.
That's
You,
what I was about to say too. I was about to say that because you know how journalism is when they be like drill, 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 drill. This is just for views. I need to know the behind the scenes, everything, everything, everything. But he do make you feel like I'm just with the homeboys over
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
talking my
Yeah.
yeah,
shit.
that's why they call him because they feel comfortable about with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And on top of that, with hardcore journalism, they can steer it to a way where
for their
they can
narrative.
they can only publicize what they want to publicize.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas his is live, live stream. I mean, you can still cut some shit out, but you ain't about to put nobody on blast like that, because then will be broken
Right.
amongst a
Yeah.
lot
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah. You'd
people.
have, people not wanting to come on. Um, yeah, like, yeah, you mentioned it. Like, there was a point. I think the producer in the background was just trying to clarify something that Katt Williams had said.
Yep.
And like, that's important. That's what the producer's there for. To kind of, hey, I don't want people thinking that we're just letting this stuff slide. Like, we have to kind of hold you
Yeah, he
accountable at
had
the
got the
same
dates
time.
wrong. He
Yeah,
said
yeah,
2018, 2019 was
yeah.
1998.
And honestly, like, I think there was only like two times where I was just kind of like, I'm not a fan of that kind of question lining. It was the moments where he brought up Farrakhan and Prince. Like, he asked about them, and then Prince is like, "Yeah, like, I know them," and then he kind of asked something else entirely different. I was like, "Oh no, I wanted to follow up. I wanted to know a little bit more
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
relationship." But again,
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't really fault him too much. That's not his background. Like, he makes them comfortable enough to talk about what he did, and that's good.
And
So
then what kind of fucked him up is that as soon as it started, he said behind the scenes, if you watch a nightcap with him and Ocho Cinco, he had said that soon as Katt Williams walked in, he was on one.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of information that was already coming out prior to them, hitting the go.
Before rolling.
So he was already on. So Katt Williams was already on one, and then when the camera started, he had said that Katt had went on a 30-minute rant without even asking one question yet.
Hmm.
So Katt Williams had an agenda as soon as he walked in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that to me that was, I felt like there was a little bit of animosity Katt Williams had with Shannon Sharpe, because he brings up the fact that like you let these people come on here on your platform and just spew lies to your face.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
it's a meme saying you have
You
a
have a,
natural allegiance with
yeah.
losers.
But no, I mean, like, I genuinely feel that Katt Williams is kind of pissed off that Shannon Sharpe, maybe Shannon Sharpe didn't think that it was a big deal, and he kind of went in there like, "Hey, we're gonna do this interview," and Katt Williams is like, "Yo, fuck you, dude! Like, you let these dudes lie on my name time and time again." But I think, like, again, I think it kind of lends itself to Shannon Sharpe's charisma. That over time, Katt Williams is like, "Okay, I'm not, I shouldn't be mad at you," because I think he kind of realized like you're not a well-versed interviewer. Like you don't grill people, especially guys like Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey and that.
But not even that. How can you, like how Shannon Sharpe said, how can you not take somebody at face value? Like, how do I know everything that went on?
Right.
If I wasn't there for one. And he always give people the benefit of the doubt. If you're interviewing somebody, you obviously going to think that they're telling the truth until someone else, challenges it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's he say she say at this point, or he say
Yeah.
he say
Oh
at
yeah.
this
Yeah.
point.
Literally.
Yeah. Definitely.
So you need a third person who's actually was in the room to actually be the judge on that, and even they could be lying. So it is what it is at this point. But like he said, he feels that a lot of haters came out because Katt Williams came to his platform and spilled the beans, and then go on their platform. So that's why it's a lot of drama amongst the background of all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you're gonna do something like this, I can't imagine it, like many other, like, Katt Williams isn't gonna go on Joe Rogan. He's been, like, Joe Rogan's been trying to get Katt Williams to go on there tons of times over the last 10 years, and Katt Williams is like, "Nah, I'm good." So like, what's the one place that you can go to as a black entertainer that most people that are in your demographic are going to be listening? Club Shay Shay is a pretty good spot. you know so I mean, like, he picked a good place to do it, in my opinion.
For sure.
And for people that haven't listened to it, his podcast, he's a great storyteller in himself, because obviously he lived life. He's 55 years old. So it's not like one of us youngins just looking at research of a person's past and just asking questions on that. He actually been there, and he's been conversating with them in their 20s and 30s and 40s. So it's personal information that Shannon Sharpe knows. And then with all the other people, they respect him as a man. Not just I'm just coming on a random podcast. He got respect of the people that's sitting in that chair.
Yeah,
For sure,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into some of the people that Katt Williams kind of called out in the initial, let's say, barrage. The very first one that the big one that came to me was Rickey Smiley. I did not know a lot of the background that kind of went into Friday After Next. But basically, Katt Williams was upset that Rickey Smiley had gone on to Club Shay Shay and had basically implied that the character Money Mike and most of the lines and the dialogue that Money Mike says was originally supposed to go to Rickey Smiley, and that Katt Williams was initially supposed to portray the stealing Santa Claus, right?
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, so Katt Williams came in and basically said that was bullshit. Like, not only was I Money Mike, but I brought that character to life. I helped pick out the wardrobe. I helped pick out the way that he talked. I wrote his lines. The dialogue was entirely written by me. Even small stuff like the kind of car he drives and the decision to paint it purple, that was all him. And to me, the probably the biggest part about that I was like, oh shit, like the first oh shit moment on this podcast, there's a bunch of them, was when he mentioned that in the original script for Friday After Next, Money Mike is supposed to be raped by the character that is portrayed by Terry Crews. I can't remember what that character's name was. But it was Katt Williams was kind of the one that kind of said, hey, can we maybe change this? Like, I'm not comfortable doing it this way.
I'm not.
but he pointed out the fact that Rickey Smiley had no problem playing it the way it was originally written. And so Katt Williams kind of took that as
Damon.
he took it a little more offense to what Rickey Smiley was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like if that's true, and again, like there's been a lot of people that have come out and said stuff since, and one of them has been Ice Cube. And Ice Cube kind of reinforced that, yeah, Katt Williams was always supposed to play Money Mike. He did kind of flesh out that character, but he says that the rape scene that wasn't something that was in the script. It was always supposed to be Terry Crews coming out um, with the tool around his dick, and Money
Yeah, the
Mike
pliers. Yeah.
getting the upper hand,
Yeah.
right?
Cause I ain't gonna lie, that would have made that movie hella dark. I
Oh
know it
yeah,
was some,
yeah.
yeah, like hell. You can't make a man raping another man comical in my eyes.
Mm.
Like nah.
And then
But
that's another thing about Hollywood trying to I don't even know how to say it.
demasculate.
Yeah, a man. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the all-time humiliation when it comes to anything. He took your manhood, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's how they did it back in the day. I don't want to get too too deep
Medieval.
into it, but that's what they did. If you stood up against them, they'd take your manhood in front of everybody who you were supposed to be leading. And now
Hmm.
they see you as less of a man. They be looking like, I'm not about to follow behind him. He ain't strong. How he supposed to defend us and he getting took over there in front of everybody?
Mm.
And
So
then him
yeah.
being a little man anyway, it wasn't gonna be like it
Oh
was.
yeah. That's not a fight
I forgot
anyway.
it was one movie. It was three friends, and they both got caught with a gun. So they both went in. It was a dude with the braids. He was in. He was in
Oh, you talking about now
Snowfall.
they see us when they see us?
I can't remember the
No.
movie. It was a black movie, but the dude that played in Snowfall, the one with the braids, who was crazy when he lost his daughter or something like that, and then he started to act good or some shit.
Okay.
You He was the one that got raped.
I
Like,
remember that movie. Yeah.
yeah, because they was in that lowrider.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the name, but anyway, we'll clip it after we talk about the pod. But anyway, he ended up getting raped and ended up, committing suicide after that. But they was supposed to get out at the same time. It was three friends. But anyway, long story short, the dude got raped in the fucking scene, and it was fucking terrible. Like
Mm.
I think I was a preteen when that shit came out, and I wasn't supposed to see that scene, but it's like, goddamn, dad, what the fuck going on?
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was like, nah, I had to tell you when you're a little bit older.
Yeah. He
So
did an interview after that, and he said, psychologically, just being in that scene, just acting it fucked him up. He cried. Like he said, he went to his trailer and cried for like 30, 40 minutes. It was not, he did not like that. He
yeah,
didn't
cause
like it at all.
cause Hollywood like made him like portray, sucking his, shit off and all that shit.
Yeah.
Why was that even a scene? You could have just had the, peeled it off to a wall and just heard the noise. Screaming and shit. No, they had this
Yeah.
motherfucker. They showed him getting his ass beat. The friends over here just chilling. They showed multiple weeks of him getting raped. Multiple fucking weeks. Like this shit happened for months until he finally just said he didn't give a fuck. Then he shanked the dude, and then I think either the prison guards beat him up to death, or he committed suicide. One or the other. I'm gonna have to find the name of that movie when it's all
Mm.
over. But anyway, Hollywood like doing that shit, and it's all. I always hated it because it always happened to black folks. At least in my opinion, from what I've seen. It always
Yeah.
happened to black folks. It never. I mean, it's probably some movies. What was this? No, I don't think that happened in that movie. Never mind. Um, my rant over, but I
Yeah.
hate that shit in
I
general.
mean,
Like,
I will say, like, if you mainly watch black movies, then yeah, it's only
yeah,
going to
that's what I'm
happen
about
in
to say
black
too.
movies. Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, my only thing with Friday After Next in particular is that is Ice Cube's baby. Like, he is the executive producer on that. He does a lot of the writing on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is. I think they were on Cube Vision, which was his production
Yep, it
company.
was Cube Vision. Yep.
So I mean, like, it. Would you still say like, oh, that's Hollywood doing that when it's really mostly Ice Cube's hands that are controlling that particular IP?
So he
You know,
produced the whole thing. Like that was all his money. Ice Cube. Like he
I
ain't
think
had
so.
no outside production.
the original Friday,
Yeah,
and I think all the Friday movies he had
yeah,
most
all
of
of
the
them was
money
all
involved.
him.
Yeah,
The only
Mm.
thing I do say is I know sometime when you throw it out there, they will tell you to tweak this and tweak that.
yeah. I mean, a
You
lot of that's
know,
just to get by the ratings. You know, like
yeah.
like if I mean. A big thing is, we don't want to make this NC-17 because no one goes to see NC-17 movies. Get it to an R
Mm,
rating. You know, you can't
yeah,
show too
yeah,
much. You know,
yeah.
and then the same thing for PG-13. Like, if you just take, I think PG-13 you're allowed to swear one time. You know,
What?
yeah, like so any PG-13 movie you can say like fuck and shit, and it's still PG-13. You know,
Oh, okay. I thought you meant one curse word the whole movie.
yeah, the whole movie. Yeah.
Mm.
So you
Wait,
can
one time.
yeah. So like if you pull up fucking Shrek and then, just one line, put a swear word in it, it's still technically PG-13. It's when it's multiple
Oh,
times that you got to give it the R rating,
hmm. I'm learning. I'm learning.
So yeah, like the Rickey Smiley down. Oh yeah, that was another thing I wanted to mention about the character Money Mike. If you watch any of Katt Williams stand up,
Yes,
that is Money Mike. Like
literally,
Yeah.
literally.
like for me, I was like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why Rickey Smiley maybe thought it was a good idea to be like, oh no, that was all me. Like really, like it's just Katt Williams doing stand up, like in a movie
Yeah,
role.
literally, bro. Because
Yeah.
I put this on everything. I saw the movie before I saw his stand-ups. And then I thought when he did his stand-ups, he just was acting like Money Mike on stage. And then I
Mm,
realized the stand-ups came out, I think, but before the movie. It was just him with another costume on. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So yeah, I don't think Wrigley Smiley could have did as a well as a as a portrayal as Money Mike. Hell no.
yeah.
He did
And
good as a Santa Claus
and
robber.
I'll just say a little snippet. That movie is called Lockdown.
Lockdown.
Lockdown. Okay, you
It
found
was
it.
made in 2003.
Sad movie. Sheesh. But yeah. So how do y'all feel about? I know you on this. You know what? I'm gonna let you narrate the show, bro, because you might bring up the same topic a little later.
Okay. Well, we're gonna continue down the line of the people that were in the firing range. Cedric the Entertainer got called out. The big thing that Katt Williams wanted to address here was Cedric joke stealing. There was a joke that
Mm,
Katt Williams had done on a TV show. I believe he said it was like in 1998 or early
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
2000s.
98. Yeah, 98.
He had basically done a joke, and the basic premise of the joke was gas is expensive. You'd be riding around in your car, and he basically um, mimes himself driving a car while the music is playing in the background on the stage.
Yeah.
And then years later, Cedric the Entertainer had taken that joke and he had used it almost verbatim, except he had changed
Yep.
the car into a spaceship. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and Cedric the Entertainer did come out after the podcast release and said that he had never done any type of joke stealing, but the proof of the clips that I think both you guys have seen, Katt Williams is telling the truth on that. Cedric
For
the
sure.
Entertainer definitely stole that joke.
Stole that bitch. What they say, word for word, bar for bar. He took that
Mm-hmm.
motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like
then with
honestly,
the
go ahead, P.
now, I was gonna say, us being in the age of social media, obviously people did more research and basically said that
Mm-hmm.
Cedric stole more material
Mm,
from other stuff, and Steve Harvey stole stuff, and I just seen a new clip of Bernie Mac has stole some material from somebody as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It reminded me of there's I forget what stand up it is, but Dave Chappelle in one of his specials was talking about how when he was starting out in Washington or in DC, he was doing a stand up set. And maybe it was maybe like 15 minutes. He was still young. He was doing stand up like when he was like 16. He was really young to be doing stand up. And apparently this guy, the older comic, asked if he could buy that joke from him, and Dave Chappelle was like, "What do you mean?" And then he was like, "Let me use it a couple times," and Dave Chappelle, not knowing the business, was like, "Sure." And then the guy started using his joke. Or no. I think Dave Chappelle said no. Like you can't use my joke. So anyways, the guy ended
Mm-hmm.
up using his joke anyway. And Dave Chappelle was like, "Hey, give me my joke back," And the guy's like, "What the fuck are you gonna do?" Basically intimidated him out of
Mm.
taking his joke back. Which again, how do you fucking take a joke back?
Yeah.
But yeah, like in the comedy world, this stuff happens all the time. But like you
Yep.
said, P, with social media, back then it was hard to tell where a joke started, whereas now you kind of have a video, paper trail of
somewhere.
where it goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Go ahead.
they was getting like how Kevin Hart got a dog ass team of writers. It's not just him. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy. Like I like him as a person, but how you have a team and y'all still trash? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just be honest, bro. That is my guy as a good person, but as a team, it
How
is
do you
not
have a
it, bro.
team and you're still trash?
For real. And back in the day, bro, they used to hit all them wine cellar basement what's that other show? Showtime at the Apollo. It was a lot of people that was dropping clips and was putting, the Kings of Comedy motherfuckers right next to them.
Hmm.
And it was word for word. I'm like, damn. And if they did switch it, it was barely enough switch to say, who did it first. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Type shit. It was fucked up, bro. It was fucked up. But I think at that time, they looked at it like the little guy's not going to last. They going to die out. I'm going to do this. And who going to believe them in the end of the day?
yeah,
Hmm.
You know.
I remember watching a clip from Gil's Arena uh, that he was saying that as far as Kevin Hart, it's kind of hard to put him next to other comedians because Kevin Hart's comedy is basically stuck at being PG-13, so he can keep his
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 audience.
sponsors and shit like that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
But
okay.
he
yeah, yeah.
said Kevin Hart. He said it's hard to compare Kevin Hart to the comedians of the past because comedians in the past can say what the fuck they wanted to,
Bro, they
and
were
they can
saying some
curse.
off the wall shit back then. Right now you would get canceled for that. You would be a hater of every community in the goddamn world if you
Yeah,
said
that's
some
we
shit
talked
like
about this in our other podcast. I was saying,
yep,
I
yep.
think we was talking about Eddie Murphy, and I was like, Eddie Murphy, like you can have a great mind, and greatness is going to be great regardless of what era, but their peak will be very, very stunted if they was in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's different now because like if we take Kevin Hart for instance, being a star stand-up, that would have been the peak for a lot of comics back in the day. Like
Yeah.
stand-ups want to be stand-ups and that's it. They
Yep,
don't
yep.
want to write for a TV show. They don't want to be a movie star, for most of these people.
Yeah.
Whereas Kevin Hart has kind of shown that, oh no, it's way more profitable if you are
Yeah.
kind of cleaner on your stand-up, and they'll put you in a couple Netflix movies.
Mm-hmm.
They'll let you do more stuff. They'll pay you to do more if you dial it down a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas back in the day, like, do you really think George Carlin or some of these older guys, like, do you really think they wanted to be movie stars? No, like they just wanted to keep talking shit with a mic.
Mm-hmm. They got paid a
Uh,
lot of money
But
to
in the
say
words
whatever
of
the
Kev,
fuck they wanted to.
and I've been saying the words Katt Williams, how he was saying Steve Harvey, he was like, "Are you sure about that? You don't want to be a movie star." Like they probably
mm,
didn't want your ass anyway because how your ass looked and how you talk. So
yeah,
he was flaming motherfuckers for
that
real.
that actually is the next one we're gonna get into is when he calls out Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey for stealing was it Mark Curie's premise for his show, the Steve Harvey Show. Um, I don't know if he went about stealing Katt Williams' specific jokes, but he did kind of allude that he stole other jokes as well.
It was one
Mm-hmm.
joke that I just seen. I just seen that shit today. It was the gas station joke where they was talking about how you can walk up like the gas was so expensive. You used to be able to come up to the gas pump, put the nozzle in, make love to your car, clean it off, and then it was another 15-second clip where Steve Harvey did the exact same shit. He just said the gas was $600
Hmm.
a gallon or something, but it was literally the same premise,
Yeah, just different uh, amounts for the
numbers.
gas. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
yeah.
damn.
Let's
Damn,
see. There
Steve Harvey.
was yeah.
Damn.
The one thing that again, this is another oh shit moment from the podcast when he was talking about Steve Harvey, and it was one thing that kind of like to me, I could kind of see it being two ways. So like, I don't want to like say like, ooh, he's a piece of shit for that. But he was talking about Steve Harvey talking about Bernie Mac. like how he kind of
Mm.
gave Bernie Mac shit because Bernie had made this transition to having his own TV show to being in movies. And Steve Harvey was this is when they were doing the Kings of Comedy, was kind of I don't want to say maybe bitter that Bernie
Mm-hmm.
Mac was kind of more mainstream than he was.
Damn.
And he had said, Katt Williams said that after Bernie Mac had died, that Harvey had inquired about taking his role in the Ocean's 13 movie, which
Mm.
Mm.
could, to me, like, again, this is the part where I don't want to be like, saying, oh, you piece of shit, is to me, it can either be like, hey, he probably called and was like, I would like to, carry the torch for my friend who's no longer here, kind of, do it in his
Yeah.
memory. I could see that. Or,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I see there's an opening. I'd very
For
much like
another
to be
black
that.
comedian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part
Let
where
me
I'm
get
like,
that.
ooh, yeah. That's the part where I was like, ooh, you could be a real piece of shit depending on which one is true,
Damn. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like to me, that was kind of eye opening, and yeah, I hope it's not true because like I think a lot of guys that watched the old Kings of Comedy clips, you want to think that that was like a big family.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
some of the
literally.
stuff that Katt Williams said makes it seem like no, there's a lot of backstabbing going on.
Yeah, I was going to say Steve Harvey had brought that up on Club Shay Shay when they had their own interview where they was trying to say that they didn't want to follow up behind Bernie Mac, so they was
Mm.
trying to have a different closer every time. But I think Steve always ended up being the closer, which Katt Williams had referenced because it was Steve Harvey's tour. All them shit. It wasn't the Kings of Comedy tour based on Katt Williams. It was the Steve Harvey tour. So Steve Harvey was the one that had Bernie Mac go first, or DL go second, or Cedric go third, and they kept rotating. But Steve Harvey always ended up being last, and I think Bernie Mac wanted to be last,
Mm.
because it was encore, but it was always Steve. And they
Yeah.
both, so both of those stories end up intertwining. It was just Katt Williams said it was the Steve Harvey tour instead of the Kings of Comedy, and they were scared of Bernie Mac because Bernie Mac was the funniest out of the group,
Oh
and they
yeah.
were jealous of Bernie Mac
For
because no matter
sure.
where Bernie Mac went, it was hard to follow up behind that.
Oh yeah. 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 Like I was thinking like just straight comedy. Like I would not want to be someone that had to follow Bernie Mac for an entire
No.
tour. Like, are you
No, he
kidding
was
me?
No.
funny.
Absolutely not. He was,
As
to me,
fuck.
he was the funniest guy on that tour.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I
like,
watched it
yeah,
multiple
like
times.
Bernie Mac
Man.
he was different, and yeah,
And
I,
it's
So
sad
that's
because he ain't here to
because
put his little 2 cents
corroborate.
in.
Yeah, yeah, say anything about it.
But he
man,
kept it
but
real too in some of his interviews about the dress stuff and the comics stealing your shit. He was saying that if you have a good joke, you better keep that shit to the vest because it's doggy dog world out here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's vultures. They gonna steal your shit if you practicing that shit in the fucking bathroom. You that shit gone if they before you.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's real.
yeah.
Okay,
damn.
the next person he brought up was Kevin Hart. Come to the stage. Basically called him out for being an industry plant, which again, this is probably me being biased because I am a Katt Williams guy. I'm not a big Kevin Hart fan. But the way that Katt Williams presented it, to me, I could see it being valid. And basically what he had said was that Kevin Hart claims that he started his comedy career doing stand up on the East Coast, but then he came over here to the West Coast and started doing movies immediately. And then Kevin Hart also likes to claim that he was doing basically stand up slots on the East or the West Coast before he made the transition to films. And Katt Williams is like, how the fuck is that possible? Like, if you were doing it in the East Coast and by the time you came over here, movies are already coming off, there was no time for you to, do these spots at the Comedy Store, Laugh Factory on the West Coast
It
because there
takes
was
some
no time. So like
Hmm.
to me, I was like, that's valid. That's legit. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I could kind of see what Katt Williams was alluding to, him being a plant.
Yeah, when he started talking about plants, it made me start thinking about the music industry as well. Like how these so-called artists is coming out of nowhere, like steamrolling. Like obviously, I'm gonna be biased, so I'm gonna say Sexy Red. This motherfucker cannot perform. She got charisma to whoever she got charisma for, but she can't rap. She don't even have a look for any type of entertainment purpose. Or she's an entertainer because of how she fucking look. You laugh at her because of how she fucking dog. It's just shit crazy. She came out of fucking nowhere. And then who's that? The girl that interviewed the white girl that interviewed Offset.
I know what you're talking about.
She came out of fucking nowhere. And like, how the fuck you come out of nowhere with lopsided fucking titties and you over here fucking
hold on.
You over here fucking
you over fucking that has nothing to do with this.
How did we get there?
Leave her titties out of this.
How did you get here, bro?
No, how the fuck you over here interviewing Drake? After like two fucking dog,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You was a mother, and no, only reason why I said it is because she brought it up in her TikToks. Like, she started off with talking about her lopsided titties. Okay, but then after that, you over here fucking interviewing Drake. Where the fuck are Drake at? Why LeBron ain't on our shit? Yeah. We've been doing this shit for 6 months.
Well, no, that one I don't remember that girl's name because I'm not a big fan of her. Because there's another girl in the UK that does it. I think it's called like a chicken shop date, where she basically 20-minute interview and she's got like Adele and all these other people on there that have done it. And she was like in line to get Drake. Drake was talking to her about coming on her show, and then that one girl came out of nowhere and had a Drake interview. And this other girl that was busting her ass for months doing these interviews, she's like, "Oh man, like this girl comes out of nowhere and she gets this Drake interview. Like, how the hell does that happen?" You know. But I will say, P, I do recall you bringing Ice Spice to my attention. And
yeah, she a fucking plant too.
She should be sponsored by Miracle Grow. That's the biggest plant I've ever seen.
Man,
well, it's only because she light skinned and got a fat butt. That's the only reason. Like people, she got her fame because on TikTok it got famous because she was twerking in her video, and then motherfuckers started listening to what she was saying. I'm like, oh well, if you listen to a video multiple times, you start to like it.
No, it's like if you listen to if you see those videos on mute, they're better.
I mean, to us, yes, because we came from a lyrical, genre. But for these people that's in their teens and 20s, early 20s, they looking at the ass, and then you heard the fucking background music so much, you started to bop your head to it. And the only reason I can speak to that is because my wife, she be like, we be on the road trip to Detroit, and she'd be coming out with these random ass fucking music songs, and I'd be like, what the fuck? And she just... Dog, she be coming out with some shit, and she said, I hated this song. And then you turn around and she's like, yeah, I started to like it because I kept replaying it, I kept replaying it. So it's kind of one of those things. So yeah, Ice Spice, but that's New York rap though. It's more, I heard males who rap like how Ice Spice do, but she just happened to be pretty and got some shape to her.
Yeah. But I fully believe in the plant shit because you gotta think about it, bro. They regulate who really coming out, who they push behind more. You gotta think about it. All the heavy lyrical, the positive message, none of that shit get pushed, like at all. Like them motherfuckers, what they call them, backpack rappers back in the day, they just call them underground rappers and shit like that.
Underground,
but the motherfucker talking about murder 24/7, killing everybody, he get all the play. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I've heard rappers say the songs that I didn't put out with all the murder rap type shit, it didn't make the album. It didn't make the cut. They cut it from the whole thing. So it's an agenda. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch,
look how long it took J. Cole to get his flowers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like that.
There are some plants that have made it big that are good. Like they're objectively good. They do good numbers. Their music is well liked. I think Billie Eilish is probably the biggest one that I can think of. She has ties, I think, to music executives, and she's a plant. But do I fuck with some of her music? Yeah. But I mean, like, I think a lot of people are upset with the fact that there are a lot of the plants being bad because you get a lot of people that are given opportunities and half of them don't do shit. They release maybe two. I think the biggest one was the SoundCloud rapper era. There was a bunch of guys that look like
they was getting album deals off of one song, bro. Yeah,
but because they look like Smoke Perp a little bit, like so.
Smoke who?
Lil Pump. Yeah, that Lil motherfucker, Pump, dog. Oh my
Lil
god.
Pump, Lil Peep, all these fucking Lil guys.
Terrible.
Maybe 20% are still around.
Wait, who was that white girl? With the nails. Oh my god, y'all know her.
You gotta narrow it down.
Oh my god!
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say.
she looked a little off. and her whole song was like one word.
Again, you got to
Please tell
narrow
me
it
y'all
down.
remember that damn like,
I have no idea.
bro. Damn, let me look this up, man. Y'all keep talking, keep talking.
All right, hold on. Well, let's get back to the interview. So,
Yeah.
do you have any kind of, or do you lean one way or another, or are you still unsure of the possibility that Kevin Hart being a plant?
For me, he was never really truly funny. For me, it always sounded like in my personal opinion, I felt like he tried too hard for his punchlines. At least for the stand up portion. In the movies, he was just a little man that yelled, kind of,
Mm,
in my opinion.
yeah,
And I felt like I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where you force feed somebody so much like popularity, he's bound to be good in some aspect. Like he's not garbage when it comes to acting or stand up.
yeah, yeah,
It's just like it's personal taste at this point. But
yeah,
for him to be a PG-13, while we came from rated R comics,
yeah,
it never just hit my
yeah,
way.
yeah. You think it's just initially why you weren't feeling it? Okay. What about you, Red?
Do I feel like
Do you feel like Kevin Hart? Do you feel like maybe he is a plant, or are you just like, I just
uh
not a fan?
I feel like I can kind of say that. I feel like I know the industry feels when they need certain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we need a black comedian.
Mm,
And we're gonna push somebody forward, somebody with a good image. Cause bro, in the middle of cancel culture, they brought up the stuff he said on Twitter, and it barely phased his career. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? He
yeah,
got
yeah,
right back on top like it never happened. But I'm not
Mm.
gonna lie though, if you do look at a lot of in black culture, bro, if a black person make it sound like some self hate shit. If a black person make it in the industry, we automatically say Illuminati. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the thing we say. It was like he got that big because he sacrificed his mama or his auntie or something like that, or his
Yeah,
son.
they get signed to Rock Nation because they feel Jay-Z is the head. Well, one of the heads of that
Did
shit.
he? But yeah. But yeah. So once he put that dress on, not gonna lie, I started seeing more films,
Bro,
more
it's a whole
everything.
collage of people. I should have sent it to the group. They had Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx. Well, any major black
That
comedian
dress
had a
go
dress.
on and they get a show or they get their spin-off or something like that. And I'm biased because I'm in the black community. But once I see something like that, I said it. I know they about to blow up. I know something great about to happen to them. They finna be in A-list movies and about to be hosting every show in the goddamn world. And literally, when his dress came on, he ran. He started putting him in action movies, comedy movies. He got his own show. He got his own sitcom, like online thing. What's it called? Just Laugh or something like that,
Uh,
or LOL.
Cold as balls.
No.
That's
He got like a studio now, and
mm.
he like
mm.
put money towards other little online skits and shit like that, and it blew up heavily right after that dress. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to say it, but it looked like it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it just goes to what's that humiliation ritual or something like that they be saying. And hey,
I
we can
I
talk.
remember, yeah. I was gonna say I remember hearing the interview. I can't remember where I heard it from. They was like you either wear dressed or you get fucked,
Yep.
and it was one of those two. Like you chose which one. You either
When
get
they
publicly you know what the fuck I'm trying to
humiliated.
say. Yeah, humiliated, and you in the dress or you behind the scenes get fucked by multiple white men.
And that's when they say they have to panda eyes because it's a nerve back there that do this. It's a lot of stuff going on, but I ain't gonna dig into that. We talking about
The interview,
Katt
yeah.
Williams.
How badly do you guys want this podcast to blow up? Because I have some new ideas. some new information has just made its way to my desk. No, like for me, like the comedy nerd, like I fucking love like stand up. I do it. Like
Yeah.
I study that. I love it.
Mm.
But like to me, the only way that the timeline makes sense is if he started his stand up career in the West Coast, because everyone will tell you that you are a stand up in the New York DMV area if you just want to do stand up. You may
Mhm.
write for a show, but stand up comics in New York generally just want to be stand ups. That's where you have your David
Okay.
Tells. That's where you have like those guys.
Hmm.
And The West Coast stand-up is more performative. Those are
For
for
sure.
guys that have a future or want a future in TV or film.
'Cause that's where
Yeah.
all
So
the
it would
shows
make
at.
more sense if Kevin Hart kind of started doing stand-up in the West Coast and then boom, that's why he's got all these movies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of weird to be in a stand-up town and then make the transition to movies when you come to the West Coast immediately. Like to me,
Yeah.
the timing is a little fishy. But
Yeah.
again, like I can't say for sure. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe he got lucky. Maybe it was the Illuminati. I can't be the one to say.
And he's good at deflecting. Have you ever
Mm.
noticed whenever he have interviews like that, he always turn that shit back on the interviewer?
Yeah, like
Mm.
the big ones that come to mind are like the Breakfast Club interviews where
Like he can, he can work his way around some shit very
Yeah.
slick. And it makes it to where if the interviewer keep pressing, it kind of, make it to like, all right, now you're just being an asshole, just leave the shit alone.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Wait,
Like,
do y'all remember that interview he did with Jay-Z? Where he was like, you ever been to the room and you saw that door and you get through the door and you know you made it, but it's actually another door behind that door and you be looking like, what's behind? And then Jay-Z was on some, mm-mm, mm-mm.
yeah, I
Now that's
remember
making
that.
me think now. He a plant. He a plant.
See, the reason why, cause I think we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Like, it's starting to all come full circle. Like, it's one of those things where they, like when we was talking about Eminem, like how he was talking about how Diddy killed Tupac, and he said it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just kidding," but it was a little truth to a little. There's always truth to "I'm just playing." Is what I'm basically
Yeah.
trying to say. And
Always the truth in a joke type
yeah,
shit.
yeah. So he's constantly saying it just so it's out there, and like how the alien shit was in 2023. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
keeps saying aliens, and it's in your fucking face, but nobody give a fuck because motherfuckers can barely
Oh
afford
my
their fucking
goodness.
bill.
This is
Right.
about to turn to a conspiracy one because I get what you're talking about. It's this conspiracy. They say it's a universal law. You have to announce what you got to
Yeah,
do
you gotta
before
tell
you.
the truth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dawg, I
Okay.
seen that shit too many times. Like they tell you the fucking truth, and if you believe it, then you become a conspiracy theorist. But then you got the motherfuckers who's like, "Oh, you flying too close to the fucking sun. We about to fucking either assassinate your ass, or we about to make you look like you on some fucking crack."
Mm-hmm.
Orlando Brown, this motherfucker was
Dave
the first
Chappelle.
one. Dave Chappelle. But they did say Dave Chappelle was in a fucking dress, even though he said he wasn't. I seen a clip of him being like with some earrings and black dress.
Oh.
It was old digitized motherfucking that shit. It was like not even, it was a 240 pixel. That's how old that shit was.
Mm.
But long story short, is either they really telling us the fucking truth. Us being obviously we ain't in that scene, so the only thing we can do is leave it up to speculation.
Okay.
But remember how y'all was talking about that one forest or that one party that I didn't know about? And you said they
The
go to these.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those motherfucking things. Hey, y'all go back to our conspiracy episode. It was the first five episodes. We already hit that shit.
I think we're
But
episode 4. It's rough. There's no video, but yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
oh my god, it's coming full circle, guys. Like we like. I ain't gonna say that we are starting to fly close to the sun because our views on our shorts is like 60, 100, 130, and then we start
All
talking
thanks
about
to Ito. He put
yeah,
that work in.
and
All right.
started talking about some drama shit, and then it went
Okay.
into the two.
Okay. Okay. So here's the I don't believe in the conspiracy theory
Okay.
part of it. Okay. I believe, and Katt Williams did mention this in the podcast, gatekeeping. That is the big part of it. I think that's probably a little bit what you guys are kind of, a little bit of the scratching the surface of what you guys are talking about. I don't think it's, I don't think it's this big, conglomeration of, 12 of the most influential people in Hollywood. I don't believe that. I
Okay.
do believe that Steve Harvey, the Kings of Comedy guys, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Kevin Hart, these guys do have a lot of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I can say this is because going back to the whole comedy thing, there is like again, people do believe that stand-up comedy is a big happy family. It is not. It is extremely cutthroat, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what people will tell you. If you see all these comics going on to these other comics podcasts and they're having a good time, 9 times out of 10 they don't really fuck with them like that. They're just trying to get exposure. They're just trying to get more viewers on their podcast,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a business, like if you think about it, like say just one comedy club, like the Laugh Factory, right? You have enough slots for maybe 6 guys can do a set before we got to shut down. If a big name like Kevin Hart comes in, hey, sorry guys, however long Kevin Hart wants to do stand up, you guys might not get to eat tonight,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because this is the guy that has millions on his mind, and this is the guy that has all the attention right now.
Yep.
So you got to think about it like, oh shit, if I can't do my 15 minutes, fuck all these other people, I'm getting my 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think that's what Katt Williams is alluding to. These gatekeepers. There's definitely a lot of I can actually say Joe Rogan is one that you hear about time and time again, that he looks out for the little guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like he kind of has instilled this kind of mentality with other bigger comics that are blowing up at the moment, where hey, you got paid $20,000 to do maybe an hour at this comedy club. You don't need that fucking money. You make more money than that going on tour. Put that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
$20,000, tip everybody, give the
Yeah.
money to the bar staff, give the money to the cooks in the back. You don't need that money. And I think that's one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that I really loved about this interview, hearing about Katt Williams, is you've seen a
Yeah.
lot of comics coming out with receipts saying, yo, I wasn't even supposed to get paid that night. Katt Williams gave me an envelope with $750.
Mm-hmm.
I ate. You know, there's a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of like, just look it up. Like, go on TikTok or YouTube. Comics are coming out in droves saying, "Yo, Katt's like that. Katt will treat you well." There was
Yeah,
one
getting
guy. I think,
clothes off his back,
yeah,
basically.
I think his name was I could be wrong. His name was like Rich Redding or something like that. This white comic. He was like,
Yeah.
I got called like 5 minutes before, like, hey, can you open for Katt? I did one of the best sets that I had ever done at that point, and Katt Williams wasn't there yet. So I was bummed because I was like, oh man, I want Katt Williams to see that. This guy comes out of the shadows and says, hey man, like that was phenomenal. Good job. And he paid him like, I think it was like 5 times more than he was supposed to get paid. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next 3 years, he did stand up on the road with Katt Williams. He took him with him,
Mm.
that speaks volumes more
Yeah.
than just
Mm-hmm.
saying like, hey, you may be able to try out for this part, but more than likely it's going to go to one of my personal friends. So
Yeah.
gatekeeping, I think, is a bigger part of this than the big Illuminati
Illuminati.
conspiracy. But
It's
to me,
both.
like, because the one that I think about a lot is the Latin comics. The Latin Kings of Comedy did it too. They had like
Okay.
Paul Rodriguez and George Lopez. There's a comic now. His name is Ralph Barbosa. He fucking shits on George Lopez anytime he can, because
Mm-hmm.
anytime Ralph Barbosa wants to do something, if George Lopez is in town, Ralph Barbosa is not going to get the chance to do it, because George
Mm-hmm.
Lopez is telling all of his contacts, don't put this guy on. You know, these guys that should be, cultivating this new talent, teaching them the ropes, they don't do it. They kind of take
Yeah.
everything for themselves.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of
But
one of those crabs in a barrel mentality.
Mm.
And
I was about to say, you know how crazy it is though, because the new generation not fucking with them old ass people. I'm just be honest.
Yeah.
They jokes don't hit the same shit that we want to hear. So what's the fucking point, bro?
yeah.
You lived a good life. Put me on.
Yeah, and then that's another thing that I like about Shannon Sharpe. He came from nothing.
Mm.
So for me and James, we are givers. Like
For
we ain't saying we
sure.
came from nothing, but we can. It was hard. Like,
Yeah.
so when you grow up and you see someone less fortunate, you know what it feels like to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you always like, oh well, I might not have a lot, but I can give you something.
Right.
Do what you will with it. And with
Yep.
Shannon Sharpe, him and telling stories about him and his grandma and all that stuff, and all that stuff. Y'all can look it up. He always say he found it interesting that people that's millionaires are always trying, like you say, gatekeep, and it's like, well, I got food on my plate, but that don't mean I got to take something from yours. There's enough money out here.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
printing,
Mm-hmm.
endlessly printing it, so I can get you up here, but you got to do what you're gonna do with it. Like,
Yeah.
teach a man to fish type of,
Right.
type of
Right.
shit like that. But it's not like, oh, I'm teaching a man to fish, but now the whole lake is his. It's enough, fish in this goddamn pond to go around.
And it's
Just
enough
give,
ponds everywhere.
yeah, just give him a little jewel to get him to, get him going, get the snowball rolling.
Mhm.
Like no one's saying you have to support this dude for the rest of his career.
Exactly.
I
And
think
you got to think about this too. My bad.
go ahead.
But everybody is not a hustler anyway. I could teach you how to fish. That don't mean you about to fish every day like me. You may
Mhm.
not be here at 5 a.m. like I am. You might come at 2. You might get a little fish, or you might just say, "Fuck it, I am a buyer. I'm a consumer.
Right.
Let me buy it off somebody."
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
feel
I
me?
seen it was like a little animation where they said you can take a person who, like a manager, for example, you can take everything from him and y'all can start at the same level, but him having that mindset to or entrepreneur that mindset, that's what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can take him, get like he can be a millionaire. You can take all that shit away from him. He can start at ground zero, but he gonna eventually get himself back to that point because he know what it took to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you just looking at him like, oh, he made $100 an hour. Now he making $10, an hour with me. How the hell he back, eating a millionaire,
Yeah.
and y'all, because it's different mindsets. It's that
Yep. Yep.
grind that people don't want to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got that
That's the thing.
dog in them.
That's the thing. I'll say it right now. Like, I could say Kevin Hart is an industry plant. I know Kevin Hart works his ass off.
Man, he do. I
So
can give you
I
that.
can't say Kevin Hart was given
Yeah.
everything. Like
He not lazy. He own
he
his
got an
shit.
opportunity and he ran with it.
Yeah, like you said, be a plant, and just say for me, if someone gave me an opportunity, but shit, I just want that quick meal. That's where my fucking time stopped.
Right.
I just wanted somebody to give me $1 million.
That's just what I wanted. But yeah.
What you gonna do with that $1 million is how you gonna stay a millionaire.
Yeah, he do got a lot of businesses and endeavors across all fields. I will give him that.
But it all takes a team too. Like you can
Yeah,
have a
it's
lot of
not just you.
motherfuckers who just taking. Now you just left like sports athletes, like motherfuckers. Like it was just a clip not too long ago of Detroit rookie spent all his fucking money, his rookie contract, within a year.
Right.
It could have been an old
Damn.
thing, but it was on a show where he spent his whole I think 700,000 out of his 1.4 that he got.
Yep.
So
Tweaking.
that's why financial education is a must, man. Shit, they
Man.
need to reform these goddamn schools. It's sad out here when it comes to education. That
It's
is
the
more
pipeline.
important. Like, why the fuck we still learning about people in the 1600s? Okay, we understand that you want to learn the history so you don't repeat it, but it ain't got to be stressed over goddamn 10 years. Just all right, this is what it was. You learned all that shit in 2 years. Call it a day. Now we got to learn how to fucking make these children productive motherfucking members of society. Because as soon as your ass hit, motherfuckers think as soon as you get 18 years old, that's what it is. Oh, I made it. I graduated, got my diploma. Now fucking what?
Right.
That you literally sitting out there looking like this, like that. What the Steven Seagal ain't that his fucking meme? You
Oh no! You're thinking of John Travolta and Pulp Fiction.
yeah. John Travolta,
Because
like,
he had the
oh,
ponytail.
yeah, like you got this fucking diploma.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not McDonald's is in your fucking future. Not saying McDonald's. I mean, whatever your fucking profession is, you're a professional in your craft because you got hired there.
Mm-hmm.
But you leaving these kids as fucking straight. They don't know how to do fucking taxes. I mean, but shit, ran over.
Well, I think we've kind of hashed out the entire Club Shay Shay with Katt Williams. So it is our first episode of 2024, guys. What are your New Year's resolutions?
For me, I wanna be able to control my emotions and thoughtfully think out before I lash out, because that's been these past couple years been something else.
Sound like you
And
be beating on your wife, man. You
nah, ain't nothing like that. But I be snapping. Like
there's like a chair sticking out of the wall behind the camera.
No, but I had told James something that's personal, a couple weeks ago about my upbringing and the way I process my emotions as an adult is because of what I went through as a child. And it's kind of one of those, being an only child, but having that type of upbringing, it's kind of hard to, understand your emotions and how to process them quickly enough. And being I'm about to be 31 this year, I want to be able to process that more
Okay.
in a way. So,
That's a good, healthy resolution.
especially as a
Yeah,
new
for sure.
father, because I'm gonna have to have a lot of
Yeah,
patience.
Yeah, I
don't
feel
don't
like men in general, like that's a good thing
for
you should
sure.
strive towards. You know.
Don't
Go
bring them generational curses. Break them, break them.
Man, that
go ahead, Red. He said, "Fuck that."
What
Hey, you
happened?
got you got to
He
keep
said,
that.
he said, "Fuck that! I ain't telling you shit."
What the fuck happened?
He's like, I'm gonna be the same, baby. Like, I ain't changing shit.
He said the only thing I'm gonna change is this view. That's the only thing. He said that's the only thing I'm changing. That's all in his fucking face too.
Well, I don't know what happened.
He's like, oh shit, they can still see me.
He said that's the only thing I'm changing in this fucking view. That's what the fuck going on.
What?
Hey, no, that gotta be the clip, bro. For real, that's funny as hell.
Did your battery die?
Bro, I got the wall plug battery and it still did that.
Oh my god, that's
It
fucking
probably
hilarious.
overheated. Where's my other
Damn.
battery at?
Oh, it's real fucking tears, though. That shit was fucking
I
funny.
got a spare battery back here.
Oh my
But remember last time this happened? It didn't record the rest of the video.
Yeah. So I'm
No,
gonna.
you were still in the party though.
Hold on.
You never left.
I'll stop. Everyone get out, and we'll come back in and record James and mine real quick.
Okay.
And the ending. On three, clap. 1, 2, 3. What about you, James? What's your New Year's resolution?
Mine was to eat better. To be honest, I'm gonna be on it though. I cut out pop, sweets, sugar, snacks, all that type of stuff. I only been drinking water since December, so I got a month already ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? And I already been in the gym since November, so I'm trying to up it to like at least 2-3 times a week. Read one book a month, and then I got a lot of stuff I got with my photography, like one picture a day. Try to edit 2 pictures a week, and try to make like a small little video so I can learn how to do my editing. You know how? Remember how you was telling me last time? You was like, just record stuff and just learn how to cut here and angle here and do that type of stuff. I'm literally finally doing everything like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Wait, before you go, only thing I was gonna say about that water thing, watch out for that because what I've been seeing with my patients is that they say they drink nothing but water and they become more dehydrated. Make sure you drink electrolytes with it.
Okay, I can do that.
Either a couple saltine crackers or electrolyte packets. Drink that with your water, or you will just piss it out and you will not rehydrate.
Okay. Now I'm about to say I am eating like, fruit smoothies, vegetable smoothies, stuff like that. But like anything that's on the grounds of like pop and like juices and all that bullshit, nah.
Now, it's mainly just keep your sodium intake up, especially if you're still physically active. That's the main thing.
My salt?
Yeah.
And they say salt is bad.
Now, salt is detrimental if you're not doing anything. But if you work 8 hours a day, you might not think you're pouring down sweating, but you're still sweating. You're still perspiring. Your muscles are still moving and activating. Motherfuckers will get cramps and get palpitations. That's basically heart fluttering when you feel a little stop and then you feel your heart will go back quick. Is because people are told by physicians cut out sodium or low sodium. Okay. Well, they're doing that recommendation because America is lazy and not physically moving. If you're physically active, keep salt in your diet. If you're physically active, keep cholesterol in your diet, which means meat products. You could be a vegetarian. You got to supplement your cholesterol somehow. But yeah, that's a little health stint.
Health is
appreciate you, doctor.
2024.
Yeah. And what about you, E?
My resolution is basically work on my time management.
Oh yes,
I am someone that has gone 30 years now, just feasting on procrastination. I've been so good at it. Like to me, I work best when I have that deadline, that pressure, that crunch. But I know it's not healthy. and I know that it's not feasible with what I want to do. I'm starting a solo YouTube channel where I've got, reactions and stuff. I legit tried doing the Club Shay Shay 2 hour 46 minute fucking reaction. I almost fell asleep halfway through. That shit was so damn long. Probably won't start there. Probably start with some maybe 15-minute videos or something. But
Yeah.
if I want to do both this and that, I have to, manage my time better. And
For sure.
I think I'm confident in it because like the past couple weeks I've still been doing the extras for New Year's and Christmas, and I was able to do that with time to spare. So I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I think I got a handle on it.
I'm proud of you.
And
man.
then you talk about doing the streaming stuff
Proud of
as
us.
well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of shit
Oh, yeah.
coming in 2024. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some new, hopefully some new stuff that we are gonna be working on in 2024 that we'll announce at a later date when it's more polished and fine tuned. But we got good ideas coming.
Okay.
Episode 50. Watch out. That's when it's happening.
See, got me back in my procrastinator bag. I'm not doing shit till episode 49. But yeah, I think we're good on time, guys. This has been Off the Top with Eric Harrison Red. I'm your host Eric, and joining me tonight we're
Yeah, boy P.
And your boy Red.
We will talk to you guys next week. Happy 2024. Health is wealth. Gang,
Always. Gang, gang. Happy New Year's, gang, gang. Yeah.